Hello there, Sev from 17 once again, bringing you the final part to the Phyrrus Evac, which is Chapter 2 in my Killzone 3 Elite Difficulty video walkthrough. And as you can see, we're now, in our robots kicking it, and you have to come through here with Rico and, tear some shit up. And this is the part of the game that I like to call Cowards Live the Longest. And the reason I say this is because the life of this robot is really strange. It's an interesting section because sometimes you can take a massive beating and other times you'll just die and you'll be left scratching your head and wondering why. And there's nothing worse than those random deaths that the games just love to give you. And you'll notice right there I shot at that tank, and that's just a little bit of paranoia because that's a friendly tank, so don't shoot at it. I'm just a dickhead sometimes. But the more distance between you and what's shooting you, the better. That probably sounds really obvious, but the difficulty on this section is you don't have the reticle, so you have to make do with your first person shooter knowledge and your gun skill. And the best thing to do with this, because there is no reticle, is if you use the assault rifle that you've got to kind of guise where the aimer is, then you can fire the missiles wherever those bullets are going and you can use them as your reticle. And that's what I do, and I keep as much distance between me and the enemy as I can. And a nice strategy is, because you only get 2 missiles and you have to wait for them to recharge, the assault rifle on this machine is pretty shit. So once you fire the missiles, if you're in a danger zone, jump. And what the jump will do is it'll enable you to jump back into cover, and it will occupy that reload time as opposed to you standing there being a target and waiting for your missiles to be able to fire again. And the first enemy that we've got here is one of the tanks, and you need to prioritise these tanks because they will hurt you. And you'll notice my missiles are hitting it, but they're not hitting it as well as, say, if I had a reticle. You've just got to keep firing away, keep ploughing into them, and just be patient. This is definitely the first setting of the 2 settings I mentioned of the on-rail sections in the other video. This is far easier than some of the later ones. But if you push forward at one section of this video, you will get killed by a mortar team, and there's almost no warning, so when you see me being a little cowardly staying back, it's purely because I couldn't understand what killed me the first time, and I didn't want it to happen again, so it's that simple really. On a side note here, because this shit is pretty basic, no one needs too much help with these sections, I'm hoping, because the on-rail sections in these games are either a test of patience or a test of bullshit luck and nothing else. So I was just right now, before I started doing the commentary for this video, set an upload off on YouTube for the very first part of my Killzone guide, so I can at least get a video up to you, because I haven't put one up in about 2 to 3 days. My girlfriend's in town and my university course has just broken up for Easter, but unfortunately it isn't an Easter that you would usually expect. It doesn't mean I get to sit on arse for 2 weeks and make videos for YouTube, play games and have fun with my friends and stuff. I still have deadlines, and unfortunately those deadlines will run into when my uni year ends, so I've still got to be working even though it feels like it's a holiday, which kind of sucks. And it doesn't make much sense to me because one of my lectures is actually finished and I still haven't been taught certain things that they expect me to do for a deadline that's coming in a few weeks. And yeah, I'm not too sure what I'm paying for there, but enough of that. Back to YouTube, and I started uploading the first section of Killzone 3, and I got a little notification when I clicked upload, and it said, "Congratulations, you can now upload videos longer than 15 minutes." And that's pretty awesome news for me personally, because I've got a demolition that I've had for a while on Stadium, which is about 17 minutes long, and I've tried to upload it 7 times, and every time it's finished uploading successfully, and it's been denied by YouTube, so no idea why. And one of my subscribers told me to change the status of my page from a YouTuber to a director, and that would enable me to post bigger videos, and it still didn't work. And I was completely stumped about what this problem was. I even looked on the plethora of YouTube videos where they're all like, you've got to have no copyrighted stuff in your video, you've got to have all this shit, you've got to abide by all these guidelines, you've got to stand on one leg, use your other leg to use your toes, using a pair of scissors to trim your eyebrows, and all sorts of bullshit and hoops you've got to jump through, and whatever reason I couldn't upload anything. But after I hit 300 subscribers, it just gave me a privilege. So I don't know if it's based on subscribers, but my theory right now is, if you're wanting to know how to upload videos longer than 15 minutes, if you hit 300 subscribers, you may just get that you know, quality to your channel. So be expecting me to try and push the amount of time I can put into some videos, so that I can have, you know, smaller amounts of videos to the guide, so they're easier to manage. Because there is a part of me that wants to do, you know, smaller videos, you know, 5 to 7 minutes, because they're easier to watch. And sometimes when you open a video and it's 14 minutes long, you kind of, you know, 14 minutes kind of thing, it's going to take forever. And I don't know if that might be putting people off from my channel, or if there's more people that are along, you know, the persuasion of, if the video was 25 minutes long, I wouldn't have to keep clicking all these different fucking links and feeding your view count. And I'm probably going to try and experiment with that now. I've got that privilege from YouTube, so thank you the YouTube gods for shining on my channel, and hopefully I'll be able to get more interesting content now. Because I don't do very well with time restrictions. I don't know if anybody's noticed, but when I'm doing a commentary, especially if I start off on a topic, the video always ends before I'm finished making my point. And it's a common theme I have, so maybe now that'll make it a little bit easier for me. But this section right now is the moment where I say don't move forward too much. You'll notice I've been sniping the guns that you can see in the distance. Do you see it? It's kind of got some red lights on it. They're very dull, it's very hard to see, but luckily enough I sit about 3 yards away from a 42-inch high definition Sony Bravia television, so I don't have too much trouble spotting him. But don't move too far out from these two, you know, ruined buildings, because for whatever reason I instantly died, and I'm trying to avoid that this time. And you'll notice I'm getting the shit knocked out of my vehicle. I've got cracked glass on my windows, which means I'm probably in a little bit of trouble. But you'll notice it does go away, it does regenerate like your life does. Just don't push it, don't get too impatient. And once you've blown everything up, it will end this section of the level. But once you've destroyed those turrets, a tank turns up. And the tanks are slightly harder to hit because they're mobile, just like you. You don't have a reticle. And one thing I found really annoying about this rail section is the HUD shake. And especially coming from Crysis 2, where you could turn it off, because I don't know about your guys, I don't get motion sickness when everything's shaking. You know, Paul Greengrass, the director, doesn't piss me off, but when the HUD shakes like that and I'm trying to aim at somebody, that fucks me off big time. That makes me really mad, because I just don't enjoy it. But anyhow, end of that section. This section's very short, but significantly more difficult than what we've just been doing. And what's going to happen is, straight away above you, there's a flamethrower guy. If you do not kill him, he will murder you, you know, 6 ways through Sunday. He doesn't care who you are, where you come from, he'll just kill you. And there's a couple more guys that come from where he is, and they've got shotguns. So if you let these guys get near to you, you will die. There is nothing you can do. They have shotguns, you don't. They win, you lose every time. So clean them up from as good a vantage as you can. If you can find cover in any of the wreckage, do so. You'll notice I've got my secondary on here, and how I don't die right now, I don't even know. And that is just a testament to how loose the shooting on this game is. If you can't make shooting mechanics, don't make a fucking shooter. It's that simple. But I managed to clean him up somehow. I managed to get my life back. And there's a couple more guys around this corner, and the best way to handle them is if you come up onto this vantage point where those guys came from, you can now snipe them. I swap out whatever I had for a flamethrower, because this is pretty good at close quarters. And if you come up here, there is a couple of flamethrower guys. Don't shoot them with the flamethrower. I think they have a resistance to it. Always shoot them with your gun. If you can hit the propane tanks on the back, you'll get a nice little explosion. But I wouldn't even bother with precise aiming on Killzone, because, you know, precise aiming just isn't what this game's about. And then just use this superior height advantage to take down the rest of the dudes. And like I said, this section is short, but if you rush it too quickly, you will get murdered. For whatever reason, the AI's just flicked the switch. They've gone into, you know, beast mode or something. They're all a bunch of Jedis now, and they're deciding that the practice shoes are coming off and they're playing for real, so be very careful. And the only problem with this game, when you take things at a distance like I'm doing now, is it reinforces how poor the shooting is on this game. I just don't understand in what universe where putting your aimer on a person and pressing the trigger does not result in them being shot. It is completely beyond me. It's like, we're gonna have a beat 'em up where when you press square to do a punch, 3 seconds later he's gonna punch. And I think that delay is gonna add all the tactics in the world, because you don't want precision from a beat 'em up. Who wants the character to do what they are pressing on a pad? That's just insanity. It's unbelievable. It's like playing Black Ops on a 2-bar. everybody's in front of you, you can start firing first and you'll still lose, and it's like, why would anybody endorse that in offline campaign? Ridiculous. But proceed on here. When you push to these steps on this section up here, there's going to be a couple guys spawn, as you've just seen, and that tank turns up, so get into cover. One thing I will say is, you're never really going to see me using the cover mechanic. The reason for that is because it's half as broken as the shooting. When you get into cover, unless your gun props up against the cover, you are not registered as being in cover, and the Helghast can shoot you. Even though you're at the exact same vantage point, you're in the same level of cover, you haven't moved, your profile is exactly the same, they can still injure you. And it's bullshit and broken, and I hate it, and I never use it, so you shouldn't either. But that's the end of the Phyrrus Evac, guys. Thanks for watching, you take care now.